going on, movie lovers? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies. I'm Jacob Bartley.
I'm Jake Berlin.
And this is our spoilers review for Power Rangers. We put out our non-spoilers review for a couple days ago. You can go check that out if you haven't seen the movie. But this is our spoilers review.
Dude,
where
you're so giddy
spoil
right now.
Everything.
So ready.
I'm very excited because I haven't got a chance to really talk spoilers. I also have no idea what this guy thinks about the movie. He saw it yesterday, right?
Yesterday morning, early as I could.
And
yeah.
You're not a Power Rangers fan growing up.
I saw that I wasn't a fan. I just was never connected.
You didn't watch it.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you don't know already, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I have been ever since I was a little kid. So this movie meant a lot to me. And if you watch my non-spoilers review, I was very satisfied with the movie. It wasn't perfect. I wouldn't even call it a great movie. I wouldn't use the word great. I would say it's really good, but as a fan, it completely satisfied me, and that's the perfect word for me. I texted you that as soon as I got out of the movie, like hashtag satisfied. So you all know what I think, and we'll get into specific details in a minute. But Jake, I just want to know your overall thoughts of the movie in general.
Yeah, so I pretty much went in with an open mind.
Yeah.
And I had gotten your text the night before, and I liked the trailers. I thought they were good. There's some really cool stuff in there, and they look like they're twisting it to the modern day take and updating it to what it needs to be in a modern day movie. And I went with a hardcore, one of my buddy, I went with a hardcore Power Rangers fan just like you are. And I came out and I actually really, really enjoyed this movie.
That's awesome.
Really enjoyed this movie. And like Jacob had said, there's things in there that obviously could have been a little bit better. But for a first movie, for the Power Rangers franchise and how campy and cheesy it could be in the television version, they updated it very well and did what they needed to do to make it to the big screen and create new fans. And I saw a lot of people in there who were much older than me screaming their heads off how happy they are.
There are people clapping in the theater during certain moments, and
that's what's exciting about these movies is like there's so many generations, because it's been going on for over 20 years, and there's so many generations it spans through. And but yeah, I walked out very satisfied with what I watched,
awesome.
And I had a good time watching
I'm so glad to hear that. I was a little worried that you weren't gonna like it, so that's really great to hear. So I just want to address something really quick. A lot of people that I've talked to, and a lot of people online are saying that, like, okay, they didn't morph till the end of the movie. There wasn't a lot of action. They spent too much time developing the characters. Is that really a bad thing? Like, if they would have morphed the first 30 minutes in the movie and gone out and fought, that would have been way too rushed, in my opinion. They had to earn it. They had to. I'm glad we got to get to know these characters before we got to see them in action.
It's funny that you're mentioning this, because that is my number one positive.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. I just wanted to address that, because that's the main thing. Some people are saying, oh, it's boring, they don't morph until the end, and people are listing that as a negative. This is the first movie of the franchise. If the movie succeeds financially and they make more, you're going to get a lot of action. Don't worry. The next movie is going to open up with them on a mission in their suits. It's going to happen. I can guarantee it, if they make another one. So
when they make another one.
Yeah, when they make another one. I don't know what it's tracking right now.
They'll make another one.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'll get more into depth into that. So let's jump right into it. I'll start with the beginning of the film, and we'll kind of follow the film through and talk about the negatives and positives. So for me, and I predicted this, the opening of the movie, I loved it.
I walking into the theater with my buddy, I told him, I was like, look, I'm not going to be surprised if Rita's a Green Ranger and Bryan Cranston was a Ranger before.
Exactly. Well, he was a Ranger before in the mythology, but he wasn't the Red Ranger. So
okay. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I love that opening. I forget what they called the era, but it was
the dinosaur era, basically.
16 million years ago. And, Zordon and Rita are this alien race, and you see them losing the battle to Rita, and right away, because everybody speculated when the pictures of Rita came out, was she the Green Ranger? And it makes sense, because in the show, she gives Tommy the green power coin and makes him the Green Ranger. So it made sense in this mythology that she was the Green Ranger. You see her get knocked into the ocean, and the power coin, falls off, and you see the power coin. Right then, I was like, she's the Green Ranger. that's awesome to me. And just seeing Zordon and Bryan Cranston as a Power Ranger,
Yeah,
that's
as an alien, I was not expecting. Well, after I saw the Yellow Ranger in that sequence, the alien versions of these Rangers, which is kind of cool, and seeing Bryan Cranston in the flesh was awesome.
Because humans didn't live on Earth back then. Because I don't think they're from Earth. They were just fighting on Earth. I believe. Who knows?
After the
they
crystal
might change,
and,
the mythology. But that was the first positive I took away, was finding out that she's a Green Ranger and that opening.
It's good background. It's really good background.
And then it leads right into the the modern day
Angel Grove.
Yeah, Angel Grove, and you meet Jason, which in the show, Jason was my favorite Power Ranger.
Is his backstory the same? Kind of?
Not necessarily. No, they really changed. So they kept the main characters like kind of their personalities in some certain ways, but like they didn't stick true to like their official backstory. So in the mythology, he's a martial artist. He teaches martial arts to young kids. Okay. And I was a tiny bit disappointed that they weren't martial artists, but at the same time, it's like, okay, that's fine. But I love that they made him a football player because he was the quarterback of his team, and that already gave him the leadership skills that he needed to deal with a team of teenagers. Yeah. You know, he has that experience, so it made sense to me, and it also played into how he was trying to make his dad proud and how he screwed up and hurt his leg and got kicked off the team or whatever. But I'm kind of jumping to the end of the film. But did you notice that the dad realized that his son was a Ranger, and he put the newspaper clipping on the fridge, and that's like when your son, wins the football game, you put the newspaper on the fridge. His dad was like proud of him because he knew it was him, and that moment like got me emotional. And even when I think about it afterwards, but what were some of the positives for you in like the first 30 minutes of the movie?
The character development was really, really strong, and I like one of my biggest positives in this film is the relationship between Jason and Billy.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's so good, and right off the bat, who these characters are. It kind of jumps around to different set pieces. It brings them together really quickly. I just love the bromance between them and how Jason's going over there for the house arrest thing,
and they're so different too.
Yeah, and then the van and all that stuff, and you get this whole sense of Billy. He's autistic. He's on the spectrum, and then later on you find out that Trini is also LGBT.
Yeah,
which is very strong in this movie, but. The character development is definitely the biggest thing because it pretty much kicks off with that.
Yeah.
It jumps right into it. You see him in detention. You see this crazy car chase sequence too with Jason and the cow and all this kind of stuff. But it's the bringing together of this team and this kind of group of individuals that just don't know each other, and they're criminals and screw-ups, and like Jason says, they're just messed up kids and they have to find their way, and it does a really good job of kind of just making sense of it all and letting us understand and just making it real. It feels real, unlike some movies where it just doesn't feel real in high school setting.
Yeah, it feels like if this were to happen, this is how it would happen, They felt like real people.
Exactly.
Every single Ranger had a backstory. You knew about their personal life and what they were going through. Yeah. And that campfire scene, man, that was great.
Breakfast Club.
It was just like the Breakfast Club. Yeah. Dude, that was great for all around, for the performances and the characters. One thing I could see people being like, oh, it's convenient that they were all at the same place at the same time. But if you pay attention when Zordon's explaining to them, the morphing grid is where they get their power from. It's kind of like the Force in Star Wars. So the morphing grid is like the Force. This is how I explain it to people. And that's where they pull their power from. And the morphing grid, just like the Force, manipulates life and, has it, it's kind of like destiny, it manipulates people's destiny.
It's like a tractor beam, basically.
And the morphing grid and the power coins were pulling them all together in that moment and, led them to be there all at the same time and discover those power coins. Maybe it knew that Rita was going to be found soon. So that's how they discovered them. And it was perfect how Billy was the one to, find the power coins and everything. And I love that scene where he's like hanging upside down. He's trying to find where the Zeo crystal is. That was awesome to me. And one thing, I love the maturity of the movie and the tone. Like right from the beginning with the cow thing, he's like, I milked the cow. And he's like, this is a male. I was like, that's right off the bat. I was like,
oh my God. Yeah.
I think they were just like, awesome. This is not a all kids movie, you know, and kids aren't gonna necessarily get that.
Well, I was sitting by a few kids and they're laughing and their parents are laughing and they don't care because they know the kids don't understand.
Exactly, and like there's language in this movie. They say shit a lot, and like not that makes the movie better or cool, but it's just like it's realistic. Kids cuss.
Alpha 5 says ass.
Teenagers cuss,
yeah,
you know, in real life, and they don't need to be dropping F-bombs or anything like that. But it felt real because that's how people talk in real life. So I really appreciate.
And they joke around with that and kind of play with it because Billy says mother and he goes, "Oh, just mother's fine."
Yeah, exactly. And it's PG-13, so they could have said it, but it's true to his character because he's like earlier in the film, he's like he was gonna say douchebag and he stops himself.
He goes, "I can't say that."
Dude, he was great. CJ Siler or RJ Siler.
RJ Siler.
Have you seen Meet Earl and the Dying Girl? I have not. I always wanted to watch it when it came out 2 or 3 years ago. Now I definitely want to go back and watch it because I heard he was great in that. And a lot of people are saying that he's their favorite Ranger from this movie. Do you have a favorite out of these 5?
I mean, I always pull to the leader because it's the skills and whatnot. But walking out of it, my favorite, and it wasn't because of how it was in the Ranger suit or the Zord or whatever, but the character of Billy is by far the best to me.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And,
as far as
the development and just the way they treated him, and they stayed true to his condition in the movie. You know, there's all kinds of things without the movie. They just don't forget about it once he puts the suit on. It's still there the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked Kimberly as well. I thought her development through the movie and how she came out to Jason later in the movie with her
all felt
situation.
so real.
Yeah, so those are the 2 that stand out to me. But Jason is obviously the one that people are going to like just because he's the leader and he's the one who kind of brings everyone together and whatnot. But Billy, by far, to me, is the best, and also my favorite color is blue. So.
Yeah, my favorite color is blue, too. And I would say the best character as far as character development was Billy. But Jason had great character development, too. And Jason was always my favorite Ranger, and he was in this movie. Because like you said, the leadership aspect, too. He's the one who has to pull this team together. And he's like that in the show, too. And they really portrayed that very well in this version for me. And like, here's the thing. This movie, I was so happy watching it because the one thing I wanted was for them to treat the characters and the story with respect. Like, this is not... I mean, of course, the show and the old movies, they're jokey. They're not good. I'll acknowledge that right off the bat. They're not good. This is the best thing we've ever seen from Power Rangers on screen before. And it's because they treated these characters with respect. And this is perfect for the first movie because now you know these characters. You care about them. And you're going to care about what they go through in the next film or at the end of this movie when they're fighting. You care, like, okay, in the movie, you see Billy. Billy actually dies in the movie. And I was actually really concerned. I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was, is Zordon going to come back in Billy's body?
All right, so for a sec, because, you know, somebody falls in the water, oh, they're dead. They're not dead, but they spit up water after 2 minutes. You know, someone
But he actually died.
I was like, no. I was like, I thought he was really dead.
Yeah.
The only thing that made me think, because you see in the trailers, he's in the end battle fight. So if it
it's
wasn't
obvious.
for that, I would have maybe thought he was dead.
It was
my prediction was like maybe Zordon actually comes back because they revealed that he was trying to open up the Morphin Grid so he can come back to life. And I was thinking maybe he comes back and becomes the Blue Ranger. I don't know. But I'm so happy the way that happened because they reveal that and then Zordon could have came back to life, but he sacrifices his own life to save Billy, which was amazing.
And because he knew that Jason was the leader that they
that was maybe I think that was my favorite moment of the movie. That scene in the spaceship where they're like I would die for you guys.
They're talking about Billy.
And he's like, Billy, I would gladly trade my place for you. And then Zordon does that. Best part of the movie for me.
I totally agree.
But yeah, how'd you feel about Alpha? Because you don't know Alpha from the show.
I thought he was fine. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't like the comedic relief or anything. I thought he served his purpose for this movie. I thought he was a great addition outside of the humans and Zordon. Kind of just a cool little thing to have in there. I love he's so blunt and straightforward.
Yeah.
He's a cool side piece to have against the Rangers, these young kids, and you know, they are teenagers, so having a kind of experience 65 million a year old robot hanging around in a ship all these years was really cool. But yeah, I thought Bill Hader did a really good job too. At first, you couldn't hear his voice, or I couldn't, and then later on
Like
in
you
the movie,
couldn't tell it was him.
I started to realize it was him. So.
Oh, did I say 16 million years earlier? I meant.
I think it was 65.
It was 65 million
65
years.
million
Yeah,
years.
I said it's 65. So disregard what I said earlier in the video. So Alpha 5 is like very jokey and cheesy in the original TV show. I'm hearing a lot of complaints from hardcore Power Rangers fans that they did not like him. I actually liked him. I didn't love him. I thought he was going to be more of a comedic relief. And I heard that they went and re-recorded the whole movie from his character. So they originally had something, and then they went and changed it. But I heard that he was supposed to be a lot harder on the Rangers. But Zordon's
the one that
needs to be hard on them. And he was training. Alpha was training them. But here's the thing: in the TV show, Alpha has no physical abilities at all. He can never get involved in a fight or anything. This Alpha could. Like if there was a full-out war, Alpha can go on the
battlefield. Right off the bat, you could see him. He's pulling Zack.
And I love that his arm extends out and grabs them. The only thing is, like in the show, he's like controlling everything. Like he's like in communication with the Rangers and like helping them. So like I want to see a little bit more of that in the sequel. And I don't. The ship is destroyed and broken down. So maybe they'll rebuild it.
Yeah.
Maybe Billy will help Alpha rebuild it or something and turn it into like a legit command center, which would be awesome for me. But overall, I didn't love Alpha, but I liked him.
He was a good addition to the team. Yeah.
Yeah, so, alright, so maybe let's talk about some negatives, because there's definitely some negatives in this movie preventing it from being a lot better. Even though I love the way they set up all the characters, and they don't morph until the third act, and they don't get into Zords till the third act, that was great. But I thought the end fight could have been better. I liked the individual Zords fighting, but then when they came together for the Megazord, it was a little anticlimactic for me. So in the show, you see all the pieces come together and lash onto each other, and you see it form and like everything come together. They had Goldar push them in this pit, and you don't see the Zord come together. That was one of the biggest parts of the TV show. Every episode, you see the Zord form, and I was a little disappointed that they didn't show.
It was like a Godzilla moment.
Yeah, so like they push them down, and then they just come out. I love the look of the Zord, but I just wanted to see it come together, and also. The fight with Goldar was not great for me. Like
it ended pretty quick.
It was very slow and it ended very quick. Like I wanted to see them like fight with the swords, Like they pulled the swords out at the end and like stabbed him in the chest or whatever. But that was one of the most disappointing things to me was the end fight.
Well, it's whenever these movies get really big giant characters like Ant-Man and Civil War. I always feel like they kind of slow it down because they're bigger. Yeah. And that really shouldn't be the case. I mean, they're bigger. I know it takes a little bit longer, but when you're fighting someone the same size, it should just be the same speed.
Yeah. The Megazord makes sense because they all have to move together. Yeah. So that was their first time doing it. I understand that. But Goldar should have been moving a lot faster.
Yeah. And Goldar was one of my negatives. I mean, I understand that it fit the story, and I don't have any connections to the previous Goldar.
I'll get into that.
But I think that the kind of metal and melted metal or gold, I should say, and kind of how he operated, and he was controlled by. I don't know if he was controlled by Rita in the originals, where Rita basically told him what to do.
He's his own person, so he has his own conscience in the original series. He can talk. He is Rita's right hand man. I wanted Goldar to have like a conscience. He's he's an alien race that. And they could have done so much with that, like a mythology of Goldar. He's awesome. Like, of course, everything in Power Rangers is cheesy from the original show, but like they could have done something really awesome with his character, and they just made him like a mindless, bully kind of thing. And I was disappointed from that aspect. But like, it kind of looked cool, like the way it looked, but knowing that that's Goldar, and like you can't change that. You can't make him something that can talk now. Yeah. So that's Gold. We're never gonna see a Goldar who's conscious. So I don't know. I was a little disappointed with that as well.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. But the one thing that with the end battle, you said it's kind of anticlimactic. I was kind of hoping we would see the Rangers individually fight a little bit more.
Oh, like in their suits?
Yeah, not just much in the Zords. Like kind of jumped on the cliff
as well.
They were on the cliff. They battled the putties a little bit. But then they got right in the Zords, and the rest of the movie was them in the Zords.
Exactly.
I wanted to see the kind of what they learned in the pit, as they called it, and what they learned in training, and as they fight as a team, and all this kind of stuff, and all the backflips they do apparently, and all this kind of stuff. But the Zord stuff was cool. it's just not the kind of action I wanted.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of went for it all and too big for the first movie because it's the first movie and all this kind of stuff. And but that's kind of my negative with the final battle. I just wish they would have been in their own suits individually fighting. Maybe Rita goes hand to hand with one of them because they never actually did that.
Yeah.
After she whooped them earlier in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
All the putties were still there. They could have easily just hung out and on the ground and gotten a fight there. But the Zord stuff was cool. It's just I wanted to see a little bit more individually.
No, you're absolutely right. I should have mentioned that. They kind of cut us short on that them fighting in their suits, and hopefully we'll get a lot more of that in the sequel. But the ending kind of rushed. It was kind of rushed for me. So I would say like the first 3/4 of the movie is like perfect, and then the ending is a little rushed, but I still enjoyed a lot of the ending. So let's talk about Rita Repulsa for a little bit. I really liked certain elements of her character. Like I liked what they were going for with the horror thing in the beginning of the movie, but let's call it how it is. She was a little over the top, and the character from the series is way over the top. So they toned this down a lot, but it was still a little bit too much for me. I would have liked to see them tone it down a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't a huge fan of the whole horror thing in the beginning. I didn't really see where they were trying to go for, and then as she started to become a little bit more alive, I understood. And I liked Elizabeth Banks' performance, but I agree.
Yeah.
It was a little bit too over the top for what they were trying to go for as a grounded, gritty take on this franchise.
The only thing that makes me make sense of it all is that, all right, she's a crazy alien who's trying to take over the world, and she's been dead for 65 million years. You're gonna be a little bit kooky, I would say, which is fine. But I would have just liked this. She was like on a 20 level of like performance over the top. Just tone it down to like 15, and I would have been good, But I'm excited to see her in the future. Hopefully they tone her down in the future because she's not dead.
No, well,
he smacked her out.
My buddy said that
she's not dead.
She operates on the moon in the TV show.
Oh, I mean she does, yes, but
I don't know if when she got smacked, the moon was in the background.
Okay, then she's probably going to land on the moon and build her castle on the moon. There you go, and she can manipulate rocks and stuff like that. So she's just not going to have the green power coin. I'm curious how it's going to get to Tommy. We'll talk about the end credit scene in a minute. But yeah, did you notice the cameo? You don't know the Rangers.
I noticed Tommy, but I didn't notice
the Pink Ranger.
Kimberly. Yeah. Someone was sitting next to me and they yelled, "Oh my God, Tommy!" And so I recognized him a little bit.
So that was the green and
towards the end
with
the phones and stuff, which was pretty cool. Yeah. I know they probably wanted to get some more guys in there, and I saw at the premiere a bunch of the originals were there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the original Yellow Ranger passed away. She was in a car accident a while ago, but all the other ones were there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and there's an image of them like all going like this on the red carpet or whatever.
Are you bummed that we didn't see that at all?
No, honestly, because
doesn't make sense for this movie.
Certain elements that they dropped that made a lot of sense. Okay. Like sometimes they teleport and like fly from wherever they are into like the command center, which I didn't want to see that. Like I didn't want to see them stand in a circle and say Tyrannosaurus, pterodactyl. Like that's kind of cheesy. And I love by the way, how they explained why the Zords are dinosaurs. That they take the form of the most dominant creatures on Earth at the time.
At the time, it was
and when they were created, it was dinosaurs. That is awesome to me. And that gives the opportunity for them to maybe change in the future, which in the show they change Zords a lot, like eventually, so it makes sense. All right, so the after credit scene, if you've seen it, it's a tease for Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, and I always thought with a sequel they're bringing in the Green Ranger.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it makes sense because Rita was the Green Ranger. She had the green power coin. I don't know where it is now. But
I think the Rangers I think they got the staff. I'm pretty sure they have.
I mean, why they're not just going to leave it on the floor. Exactly. So I'm sure they got it. So somehow Rita's gonna steal it back or recruit this young Tommy Oliver and have him, take on the Rangers. I compare this to like, in a certain way, like he can be like the Winter Soldier of this sequel, to where like don't we know you from school? Like, what are you doing? And he's just like messing them up, And like the coolest prospect of this is seeing the Dragon Zord fight the Megazord. Like, how is that going to look in a modern day? Like that's. Gonna be awesome
for sure.
And I know it doesn't mean as much to you, but how did you feel about the little tease?
The tease was cool, and what I instantly went to was Bueller.
That's what they were doing.
Ferris Bueller.
So there's a lot of hints towards like coming of age stories from the 80s and stuff. 80s and 90s.
As soon as he just goes Oliver, Oliver, and so that was really cool. And then you see the bomb go off and everything in the hallway.
Billy, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I knew right away that it was going to be Tommy. I know Tommy is probably one of the most popular Rangers out there.
He arguably is the most
So
popular. Yeah.
he has a long history with it, and it just makes more sense that he's in the sequel. It's cool. I like that they didn't bring him in the first movie because it doesn't make sense and focus on this team.
Because for so long in the series, it's just those 5 for a long time.
So yeah, the teaser was cool. It wasn't over the top. He didn't reveal who was Tommy or anything. It was just a green jacket and his name, which was really cool. So.
Yeah. I don't know enough young actors to pick somebody who could play him, but
Logan Lerman.
That could work. Does he look around the same age as them?
Yeah, he looks baby faced.
No, you're right. I mean, I guess
I just don't know. I don't know if I can see him go bad. That's the thing.
But why not? We haven't seen that. Yeah. There, Logan Lerman, please.
Logan Lerman.
I love him as an actor.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it like we do every movie review, and I already gave my score, and I'm gonna stick.
Well, what is your score?
I'm gonna let them know. It's an 8 out of 10. I'm sticking with the 8 out of 10, and that might change. Guess what I'm going to do in about a few hours.
Bad boy. Go watch it again.
Exactly. Hey, I'm taking my little cousin to go watch it.
Real quick, what did you think about the 5 seconds of the original theme song?
I was gonna bring that up. It's in my notes. I loved it. I did not expect it.
It was just out of nowhere, and it makes sense how they did it with the Zord coming
in the TV
out.
show. That's exactly, they're running side by side and they show the music. I can't believe I forgot about that. I loved it. It was. It pleased my heart.
And my buddy said that my buddy said that they cut it off right before they said Mighty Morphin.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah. I mean, so when I watch movies for the first time, my mind's racing so fast. So there's little tiny things that I probably missed.
When you're gonna catch a lot of things.
And I'm gonna honestly watch this movie at least 5 times in theaters. So.
Well, I want to go with you. I want to see it again.
Let's go. So, I'm down. So what do you got for Power Rangers overall out of 10?
I'm dittoing you, man. I got 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. A few things here and there that could have been fixed, but overall, I had a good time. It was better than what I was expecting. I really loved how they handled
my expectations.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how they handled the characters most of all, and certain things within the characters like the autism and the LGBT and that kind of stuff. And so it's a great step forward with this franchise. And no matter what the scores are or what people are thinking about it, it created a base for this franchise to go up.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to a sequel much more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well that's gonna do it for our review of Power Rangers. Jake, thanks for getting on this with me, man. I appreciate it. Where can they find you online?
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, apocalypsemovies.com every day. This YouTube channel. Check out everything we got going on, man. We appreciate it.
You can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at JacobBartley_, and of course on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit that like button. Hit us up in the comment section. Feel free to talk about spoilers in the comments. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, take care.